Does it matter?
I don't think it does.
I sprayed these last night. Or, excuse me. When's, no, I can't remember now. So, I don't know what you want to say. I mean, you said it just has 300,000 miles on it.
Yeah,
2008.
2008, 300,000 miles.
Okay.
Unknown if it's ever been. Because you've had it for how many thousand miles?
Oh, just under 80.
The moment of truth.
Wow, look where it is.
Okay. So there's no big metal parts in there.
And
That's
no
cool.
coolant.
And no coolant.
That's a good idea, right?
Yeah. Let's see if it goes through its motion.
Eye to eye, hole to hole. Look at
That's
that.
full motion. Okay.
It's full motion.
Is it hard?
You move it. See what you think. Not too hard. I mean, so it's
Yeah, it's not.
super smooth either.
It is a little resistant though,
Okay.
but it's not bad. No. Okay. Now we'll see.
Apart anyway.
We'll see what the nozzle looks like if it's the same nozzle that I have in my 2012 with those little tabs in the back.
Yeah.
The other thing is if there's a loose piece, like one of those tabs is broken off, it can fall out of place too. You can jam
Right,
it.
Jam it. Yeah.
Jam it where it won't move, and then it'll, if we rolled it around now, it can fall out of place
Right.
where it'll move.
It's been moved and
It's been moved, but
tapped on and shook. So.
we'll know in a few minutes here.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
No fins are gone. Oh, it's not half bad for what it is, right? Let's go ahead and take this off.
We're going to put this through its range of motion, and
So this is the exhaust brake, right?
yeah,
And that's open, right?
that's no, that's restrictive.
Oh,
Let's
that's
break on.
restrictive?
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't the right. Oh, so it does have to be over here. Okay, so it was right. It was fine.
So
We
that's
took it apart.
that's opening the exhaust flow right there.
Yeah.
And so just kind of make a mental note of how far it's going in, make sure it bottoms out. And you can kind of see the line there around the ring.
Yeah,
There's a bit of a line there.
a little bit. Yeah, right there. Okay.
So we want to make sure we
Like
can
really
put this
easy
through
here.
its full throw. When you take this screw out of the sector shaft right here, there's a bolt inside here that holds the sector shaft attached to those little holes here on the sides of the nozzle. You want to make sure that when you put it back together, you can get it through the whole throw.
Okay, I'm good there.
So here's the hole for the locating pin that helps you index it when you put it back together.
I wondered about that.
Oh, I got it right here. And there's the pin sticking out
Oh,
right
there's
there.
the pin. Nice. Okay.
So. I don't know. There's some fleck clicking stuff. I don't know if that's normal or not, but it sure spins fine though.
Yeah, but when it's under, I'm gonna say it's been hitting. It was done. I think. Oh, this. What was hitting?
Yeah,
there?
the compressor wheel sits right over that flange, so yeah. Or the flange sits right over the compressor wheel.
This doesn't show any signs of hitting that though, but why is that so polished? Well, it's been touched at one time or the other. And I really wonder what that was. 'Cause that's cleaned off. It's decarboned. I want to say it hit at some point. Alright. Well, I think it was all good timing. It is a good thing. Okay. I'll just take a buffer wheel that and kind of decarbon that.
I think you're right. I think this is reverse threads
You can tell by looking at it.
because it looks like it loosens this way.
I think you're right.
So now the
This has
nozzles.
to rotate to access it. You have to flip it.
Yeah. So now the nozzle's open, right? So this will allow the most gas flow to flow through. When you close it, that's when you can access it.
Yep.
So what I had to do when I did mine is I had to kind of fiddle with it. I tightened it down where I could tighten it, and then I closed it, and then I opened it to make sure it would go through its full range of motion. And you can do that here, or you can do that down there, because when you close it like that, if it's too far one direction, it'll limit how far you won't be able to get to your indexing hole. And that's why I said pay attention to that, how it looks right now.
Now see, this one's...
It goes past the indexing hole, right?
Oh, yeah, on this. You're right. And then, so how's our teeth? It's also going past.
There, it's past the indexing hole.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's past the fourth one.
It's past the fourth one.
Yep, see that?
It is.
Right there.
And there's the fourth one right there.
And it lines up at the hole?
Mostly. Look at it. It's not quite lined up.
No, it's still not quite. But really close right there. Okay. And then...
And that's lined up with the hole right there?
Yeah, that looks good there.
So that's the exhaust brake full on right there.
Yeah.
And that's all lined up. Shine the light down there. Thanks. Okay,
We
yeah.
need a lot better light.
Yeah, but that's... The problem is, it would be nice to just line that up, because you can get to the bolt easy that way, but you don't know exactly where this is supposed to be when you tighten that bolt down. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I said let's measure
That's why
it,
we measured it.
and that will get us close. And then when we close it, we know that, okay, that clunk is that hitting the inside of the bearing housing, right?
Yep.
So, but we know we're past that mark, and we can even look and see how many teeth is that.
It's 4.5, 5, 4.5.
It's right between 4.5 and 5, a little closer to 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll get us in the ballpark, right?
Yep.
Good. I don't remember if mine had the indexing marks or not, but there are none in this one.
Yeah, there's no indexing marks on this.
Okay.
So that's what the holes are for.
And you're going up, right?
Positive. You want to let it lock against here?
Oh, no, I'll go ahead and hold it. We'll try. What was that? Sounded expensive.
It's coming off, right?
Yep.
It's not turning though. Is it coming off?
Did the trick. So that side was 19 millimeter, this side was 10 millimeter, both 12 points.
That just stays on there.
There's no washers. It was just the one nut, huh?
That's what it looks like. I don't see anything. Assuming this was balanced right there.
And then you have a notch or something here where they've...
It does. Oh, looky there, and there, and there, and there. Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's weigh them.
Let's try this again. Grams. 145.
So that's factory.
Yep. Which is, I believe, what he said. Curious what this one weighs. Ha ha ha. Let's say 149.
That's what it
That
says.
says 149. That is heavier
We better do it again.
than this one. Yep. 145.
Okay, that might not be factory then, right?
That's a possibility.
32409, and your truck's an 08.
Yes.
Okay, so that is an aftermarket. So somebody's been in this turbo before.
Yep.
Okay, now we know. So we mic'd with this, the inside of the housing here. And this has been machined because this is closer to 62 than it is to 60, for sure. Okay.
I think he said to check the play with the new lock ring, snap ring. And he had like 2000s in there, so.
So, yeah. So that one doesn't overlap, right? Okay.
It's pretty good. I got a little bit of, I think that's just carbon right there. Carbon burn right there.
You feel that brown part?
Barely, just barely. So I can polish it up. This shaft's in good shape, I think.
Yeah, there's no grooving in it.
No, there's nothing. It feels good. Clean the carbon up there.
Because there's one bearing right there. You can see one bearing surface, the other bearing surface right there.
Yeah.
So sweet. Around here,
Yeah.
which is just the cold side seal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now you take these off?
Mm-hmm. What size is that?
4.
Okay.
Okay. Came with new of these or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does. That's something. Cool. Now this comes.
Should come around. Just like everything else has, right? There's a little baby screwdriver somewhere here.
What separates this from this? No, that's
Oh, it'll just come off right there, that edge right
this.
there.
Oh, this right here.
Mhm.
Got it. Yeah. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Man, thanks a lot for being here. This is cool.
The almost blind
Now,
leading the blind.
Do you
right?
mark this?
You don't have to index it, no.
You don't have to index it.
This little plate here,
And that spins
We're gonna replace that.
360. Yeah. And that spins 360 anyway.
well, it'll go
No.
underneath this edge right here.
This does get indexed. This has to go like that.
Right, but when you put that inside there,
Right.
it
So
only
this
goes one
does-
way, and then
Right. This
that,
only goes one way.
Mhm.
And another O-ring.
and another O-ring.
Okay.
Now
And
this
there's
plate,
that plate.
this is the one that confused me. Because when I went to put it back in, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense for oil flow to me, but that's,
All the oil flows on the back side.
yep.
Okay.
Even though it gets oil on this side, it's all
Right.
the oil flows on the back side. So go ahead and pull it out,
Got you.
and let's just look
Does
at the
it
other
just,
side, see what's underneath it. It'll just flip out.
It's in pretty good shape. I see one little wear mark right there, and that's it. Well, goodness 9, Eric. There it is. Now it's got. Does it come with that little centerpiece? Oh no,
Mhm.
that's separate.
So pay attention to how that comes apart too, because that was on the inside, right?
yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, because it fits inside a.
Okay, good.
Like that. And then you got your snap rings with your bearings. Now we have to measure bearings. Now, I can get me a clean rag and, well, all this gets replaced. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave it together.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then
What's
we can
next?
take the
Do we
nozzle
wanna
out
do the nozzle next? Hopefully a nozzle shows up here.
today.
Yeah. Be nice. I put it all back together. All back together. Here's the nozzle.
Right, that's the
Shafts.
back legs of the nozzle
Yes.
shafts, yeah.
So we're going to do this next. So this actually has to go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Are we doing anything bad?
We'll loosen that bolt.
It's got to go like that.
Then the sector shaft can slide out, and then you'll be able to slide the nozzle
Got
out.
you. This is cool, man. I don't know why I felt so timid. That looks like
Oh, you should have seen me when I was doing mine.
I bet. That's why you're like,
Here
yeah.
goes.
hey, Don?
We're going to have to write a big check.
Yeah. It's a 5.
That's a 5mm too. Good deal.
Okay. And that can get in perfect position to get it out, just like that.
Okay. And the sector shaft now flops around.
Did it come with any more of these or no?
I don't think it does. We got to save that. So put that in your, yeah.
Let's see again.
Or in the parts we
Except
took
I'm
out.
mixing, yeah, that's right. We can do that. We'll put it on the other side. Now this just comes, oh, this comes out first.
And then let's stand it on this end, on the nozzle end,
Okay.
and then slide your sector shaft out. And then that'll flop down.
Which looks
Yep.
beautiful. I don't see anything wrong with it. Do you?
And you have some seals that the sector shaft, I don't know where these sit on the sector shaft, but you have some seals here and here that you replace, that he sends right here.
I felt
They're
that
oil
when I
seals.
pulled them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some
Now,
light on the subject here.
this guy just comes out of there. Like
that. And
so.
see how the numbers are up? See how those letters were up, facing out?
that.
Okay, good. That's it.
Very cool. And then this will slide out of here, which that feels fine. Feels good. That wasn't
Feels
hanging
good?
up there.
Okay.
And guess
Nice and
what?
plain. Guess that's an aftermarket nozzle. You might be able to send your nozzle back too. You might save some money here. You can invest that in a new actuator.
How much you have to compare?
Yeah, I don't know.
That looks okay, but
Exactly. It's probably that little connector like you're talking about. And I don't know what this little piece of metal is here, but there's something.
oh, look at there.
I don't know, but nothing real big, nothing really concerning. Now let's look at the nozzle side. So is that too much play in the nozzle legs? It's not very much. I mean, it's not really a wear part, you know what I mean? What I would do is I would look at it, look at the wear on the shafts, and if we're not worried about that, then I'd look at these rivets right here. So where these rivets are right here, if they look like they're loose or like they've moved in and out at all, then I might go ahead and put the new nozzle in it. But man, I might just reuse this nozzle, Lane, seriously. I don't see those wiggling at all.
Isn't that crazy?
You can also grab these rivets.
Somebody screwed up.
You could also grab these rivets right here and just see if they feel like they have, like they're wiggling.
Right, because that's the only thing that holds those legs.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't feel anything. They don't feel clunky. And these do wiggle a little bit engineered into it, right? So, cool.
Yeah, there's some
dirty.
play with brand new.
It's dirty, you know.
Hey, this has been replaced.
Has it? I wondered with that many
Yep.
miles.
It's oversized, and it's got an aftermarket nozzle in it already. It's got an aftermarket wheel in it. I'll send the wheel back because that wheel's the wrong size.
Oh no.
We have a 62 millimeter. We have a larger. We actually have a larger.
So they put a bigger thing. Bigger.
Yep.
Turbo?
Yep.
They've also done the modification on this where they put the cleaner in. So this bolt here that we were asking about,
Right.
that's at the top of the bearing housing, right? Because that's the oil drain on the bottom. So at the top of the bearing housing, there's a bolt right there. That silver bolt drains into here, so they can inject cleaner into it.
Yeah.
I think that's an aftermarket thing. I may be mistaken, but I don't think my turbo had that. I'm gonna look at my video, but I'm pretty sure my turbo doesn't have that.
Okay.
So that's cool. Scrape it now. Let's see how much soot comes off that back wall there. Like a little screwdriver right there, or something.
Looks like a little bit, but yeah, there's a layer.
There's a layer there.
Yeah, look at that layer.
I bet this turbo's been on there a while.
With that much?
Because mine was probably a little bit less than that, is my guess. I didn't have that thick of a layer on mine. Mine had 80,000 miles on it.
So there could be 150,000 on this, possibly, or something.
Maybe.
Now I'm curious what bearing. Now it was kind of gummy right here.
So what's interesting is whoever put this turbo in, put this in as a replacement for the one that has the filters and the tabs. So they were smart enough to not put in the factory one.
Oh, it won't. No tension on it. I see what you're doing though. Actually, this lets you see better, I guess. But I don't have as well a grip, I don't think. I had it down over here while I was working, but let's do this side.
Doing! There it goes. Did you save it again with your stomach?
I think I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Then that bearing will come out, right? With... Ta-da. Okay, good. So this is the bearing that came out. Were you measuring it millimeters or thousandths?
Millimeters.
9.83. You're measuring OD or ID?
I was doing OD and ID, but OD is where it's different.
Oh, it's different on the OD. The shaft is the same.
Yeah, shaft's the same.
So there's 10.95 on the inside. 15.8 on the outside.
They're standard.
15.8 on the outside. 10.95 on the inside. Okay, so this is your new one. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
So
These are the old ones?
Yeah, that's the old ones.
Okay.
Shoot, this thing would be good for another 300,000. Might be easier just to. Wow. Can bend that too. Popped right out of there.
Okay.
No problem. So that works slick using that style screwdriver. And that's that. That's for that.
Yep.
But we're gonna wash all this.
Yeah. And then those bearings on the inside are a little harder to get to.
The
Or those
seals,
seals, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Okay. It's pretty good.
Something went.
I don't think that. I might not have done anything with it. Yeah, I moved a little bit. Put a good pull on it. We'll see if it'll. No, I think it's just sitting on the road.
Can you see in there?
No, I'm going by Braille, man. Just by Braille. See, I can't get a good bite that way because of this.
That one came out easier than the other one.
It felt like it was given. Look at that.
Okay, so that actually worked well.
It worked great.
So that was a tip that broke off a 90-degree pick. And what'd you do to it? You just
I just
ground...
put a little slight point on it so it would kind of work its way in there.
And used that right on the
slick,
edge,
didn't it?
Okay, that worked better than. So before he used the 90-degree, and then you used a couple of punches just to get behind the seals. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Now how these came out was, this is what they look like when they were installed. So that's the part. This side goes in first when you replace these. Right here for the nozzle
rods,
legs or whatever rods. Yeah. But this seal, where is it? Right here. For the sector shaft goes in just the opposite. In other words, the open part of the seal always faces the oil. Okay.
The liquid side.
Liquid side. Okay, now you got some washing to do. Okay, this is something I was talking about in my other video, where this oil rings, these metal ones, these are the factory ones. See how they're flat? And that's the oil seal right there when those touch together. The ones that come in the Turbo Lab America kit actually overlap, so that when they make a seal, they overlap like that. Okay, so probably an improvement. Does it make a big difference? I don't know. There's thousands and thousands of turbos running on the road that are doing fine with these. So, but it's just, I think, a measure of some of the quality improvement.
So we pulled these outer and inner snap rings out where the bearings were held in, and these are my outer snap rings, and they're of course measuring out about, I had 0.56 there for a little while. Anyway, 0.58. And my inner snap rings, which we thought about leaving, they're not too bad to get out, but they're also 0.58 or so. So then we compared them to the new ones, and yeah, these are a little thicker. Now, whether these are manufactured exactly to spec or not, we don't know. But I would say those could have a little wear on them. So we're going to go ahead and replace the inner. Make sure you replace the inners as well, because there could be some wear on those. Alright, so we got our one snap ring down in there, and they kind of have a flatter side on one side, and I put the flat side up against for the bearing. So we'll put that bearing in there, and there's two different bearings. There's regular and oversized, so you have to measure. Mine takes the standards. And then at these, same thing, at the flatter side of the snap ring going against the bearing, and just kind of push that down in there. So what I did with that first snap ring is I stuck it down in there with the pliers, got it in position, and just take a flat blade, and even on the inner one you can just take it until it snaps all the way around. Just make sure it's seated in there really well. And we'll flip this over and do the other side. Okay, so we're doing the other side of this unit, and what I found to work a little bit better was just to get the snap ring and get it down in there past the first snap ring setting, doing your inner one, and then took this 10mm socket and I just gently used my hand to push it down until it snapped into place into that inner ring, and then took a screwdriver and made sure that it was snapped all the way in that ring in there. And now we'll drop the other bearing from Turbo Lab America.
Did CP have any eggs?
I'm going to put this next snap ring in. Like I say, these snap rings seem to have a flat side to them, and so we're putting those against the bearing. I think that's just a better deal. Sometimes you got to use this is a little deeper set on this exhaust side of the turbo. It's a little hard to reach. And just use, like I say, use a screwdriver to kind of lock in and make sure it's snapped into place. Everything looks really good right there. So next we'll move on to the seals in here. Get those snap put in there. And these will go oil side up, so the oil pushes against the inside of the seal and helps it to seal. You don't want to put them in backwards like this. You want them in like this, inset. Okay, so our seals, I got a 13mm socket that's going to fit those just right, just a hair under, so that you can drive those in there. And you want to make sure it's just on the outside, that outside rim. And you kind of just hand start them and tap them in there. You want to do it nice and neat all the way around. Hammer. These are really small seals, they shouldn't take much to put in. Just want to put it in nice and even in there. And you'll drive it all the way down till it stops, which like that. Hear the difference in sound. We are set. There's a nice close-up of the finished, ready to go all back together here. Some clean. And got it all polished up. Let me go back together.
Okay, so he's got the turbo in. It's mostly hooked up. We've connected the actuator right there. There's the actuator. And that's plugged in and locked. We have our battery charger on right here. And it's showing 12.75 volts or so. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time here. The first time we did it, it failed. The second time it passed. We're going to try it one more time here, and hopefully it'll pass again. So the process is basically plug the computer in here, plug the OBD2 adapter in, turn the key on, and then launch the software. Okay, so now that we're doing it in the correct order, which this is fun. All right, it's connecting.
Blast.
It's a Dodge.
Let me know when you're ready for me to video.
Okay, we're gonna get the VIN here. This is nice that you can just do that.
Stolen. No.
Next, we don't want any codes. We're just going to click next through all these menus. Okay. Do we want trouble codes? None at all. Okay, now we're going to come up here to System Tests and Miscellaneous Functions. And this right here, we're going to click this right here. We're going to come down to Basic System Tests. We're going to click that. We're going to initiate basic system tests. Okay, click on that. Now, we've got to bring this drop down menu here. We're going to come down here to VGT Actuator Pre-Align for the third time. Third attempt. Okay, there's the warning menu. Okay, it's not running. We're going to go here to, it says, please click the next button. We're going to come over here and click the next button over here. Okay, it made some noise. Lane's giving it a thumbs up there. Pre-align says pass. Good. So what we're going to do is go ahead and mount the actuator. And thanks. It's awesome.
2 out of 3 is awesome.
Go ahead and get the actuator mounted. And
How many bolts?
okay.
Where's all my? Bring them over here.
Here they are. In your wrench.
Okay, just lay them in there.
Okay, now the delicate act of getting it on. So now it's important to keep the key on, and while you're hooking up the actuator, so the actuator doesn't, when the key's off, it'll move. So the actuator's in line. We have the sector shaft all the way toward the rear, so it's aligned with that hole. And getting the bolts in now. I just to listen. So we got the actuator back on, as you can see, and we're going to go to the next test now. We're going to go to basic system tests. Actually, we're done here. So we're going to come up here and click done with the pre-align. Okay. Test completed successfully. Oh, that's good news. Okay, now we're going to go back to initiate here for basic system tests. Here comes our drop down menu, and we're going to click that. We're going to scroll down here to VGT actuator self calibration, and this will tell us if we got it in line. Okay, is this really what you want? It's asking, and we say yes. Okay, it is. Now don't forget that if you watch my other video on this, this is the same menu they put up here, and they need to change this. Hopefully they have by now. Please ensure that the coolant's been partially drained. The VGT actuator has been removed from the turbocharger. Failure of the actuator result. Okay, this is not part of this step, so don't pay attention to this. Okay, this is the correct part here. VGT actuator self-calibration instructions. That's what we're supposed to be doing, but ignore that part, please. Okay, so now it says, please click the next button. VGT actuator self-calibration. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to go up here and click the next button. Pass. Thank the Lord. Okay, press the done button when you wish to stop the test. So we're going to go up here and stop the test. We're going to click the done button. All right, test completed successfully. Okay, key on. Okay, key off. So it sounds the same.
As it did before.
as it did before. You want to start it?
I'll be the actuator. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Get underneath it. Critical light is on. I can tell you ignored. There it is. Hear it? Yeah. Let's see if it. It's working. There's no. Is your EGT about normal? Yeah, that's perfect. I don't think it's. Yeah, it's working. It just doesn't sound very powerful. Should be slowing down more. Working. We'll see what happens. Now decelerate without it. Turn it off. Turn it up. Let off. You make it down. Oh yeah, big difference. Are you in tow haul? Yeah. Oh, okay. Making it down. Is that what you wanted, or? Otherwise, it'll, the R's drop off. When does it kick off? Same thing. Yours 11, 12. About 1100. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So your EGTs aren't running higher than normal, right? Okay. Perfect.
Eric, thank you so much.
Happiness.
Happiness.